Hey there, it's Joe from Oops All Games here, and this is Illinois GameCon. Yes, you heard it here first. Oops All Games went to Illinois GameCon 2025. There was so much to see, do, and spend money on, but the first thing we wanted to do was talk with organizer Ryan Toscher about the event.
This is our 8th annual Illinois GameCon. We're out here at the Interstate Center in Bloomington. It is a big community event for gamers. If you're into trading cards, if you're into video games, if you're into art, or even wrestling, we have a lot going on out here. We got over 100 vendors on all that stuff I mentioned, as well as just a lot of free play games, over 100 free play games. Started when I had my old game shop. I had people talking about, wouldn't it be nice if we had a convention here in town? When I closed down the shop, I thought it would be a good idea. We kind of transferred my energy into something like that. So it started small. In year one we had less than 10 vendors, less than 500 people. But this year we're going to hit about 3,000, and we have, like I said, over 100 vendors. Gamers are sometimes often by themselves at home, either playing solo player games or online. They don't necessarily go places and see the people that are also doing the things that they're doing, especially when people are dressing up in cosplay, really showing their love for their favorite characters. It's just great to see the crowd really enjoy themselves.
And in case you missed out this year, Illinois GameCon will be back in 2026. Next up, I had to make my way to the vendor hall to spend some money, of course, as one does.
About to make my first purchase already. Yeah. First purchase accomplished. Daemon Ex Machina.
Overall, I'm pretty happy with my purchases. I bought a Switch game that I haven't been able to find for a while, a few 3DS games I've been looking for, and a bunch of amiibo. Immediately after making my bank account very concerned for my well-being, we decided to take a trip down to the aisle where indie developers were. We met up with the developers of Hero Mania to talk about their new game and get an exclusive interview. So we are currently here with the developers of Hero Mania. I have my new friends here with me.
Alex. Jeremy.
So kind of talk to me about Hero Mania. What was the inspiration behind the game?
So I think the initial inspiration for the game was we were sitting down thinking of a game we could play with our friends, and we thought about an idea of what if you're competing with your friends to try to save a cat from a tree, and then your friend just comes up, you grab the cat and you're trying to return it to the owner, and then your friend just comes up and punches you in the back of the head, steals the cat and returns to the owner and takes all the glory for it.
Yeah, so we really just wanted a fun 4-player party game that we could play with our friends on the couch was the main thing. And so that was sort of those two ideas was what birthed Hero Mania. So we normally tag team things. So I do a lot of the gameplay development, and he kind of develops all the internal systems. And in addition, he does a lot of the base 3D modeling, and I do the animation. So there's a good give and take with all the work.
Yeah. So what's that kind of balance like, having one person do one thing and another do another?
It's just kind of it kind of just feels like a constant game of ping pong, where there's certain things that so there'll be a certain asset that I'll be waiting on, so I'll be while waiting for this, I'll do this, and then there'll be something that he's waiting on for me, and so it's kind of just while we're waiting for each other to finish each other's tasks, we do the things that we don't need them to do, and so that way it's we're constantly passing back stuff at each other to do.
We're constantly in communication with each other about hey, here's the task log that we're working on for this week or this month or whatever, and we kind of divvy up the responsibilities.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, just from the perspective of people who make the game, what's your favorite part of Hero Mania? What's kind of I'm really proud of that moment in this game?
I would say seeing especially families play the game when we get to actually show it to people. Making the game, there's a lot of ups and downs. You run into so many problems, and it can be tough sometimes to keep your motivation going with working on a big project, or a project that has just taken a long time. But when we actually sit down at conventions like this, and we see families and stuff come up, and they're just having a blast, that is the most rewarding part for me personally.
I would say for me personally, it's the character designs. Whenever someone plays our game and they go whoa, this character is crazy, or this penguin is tight. Whenever people get really motivated by the characters, that always is what I'm most excited about.
Yeah.
Especially when they are even what's this dude's lore?
Yeah.
And then we tell them the lore, and they're wow, he sucks.
Yeah. And we're
yeah, he
exactly.
does. Yeah.
Kind of going to your point of seeing people get to play this game. You guys have been in Illinois GameCon for a few years now. What's it like bringing this game game back every year and seeing new people play it.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about how awesome it is to see returning faces. Like, we love seeing new people play it, obviously, but seeing people who had played it a previous year get just as excited as the first time they played it, and like seeing us, recognizing us and be like, oh, I remembered you, like, that's really fun for us.
Yeah, I think a big thing for us was that as we went to more conventions, our expectations changed. Because I think when you first start going to conventions as an indie developer, you see it as a form of advertisement, where you expect like, oh, this is where I'm gonna get my wish list, this is where I'm gonna get people excited about the game, and that's certainly an aspect. But the more you go to conventions, the more you realize the most valuable thing that you get from it is reactions, and you get feedback. That is the most valuable thing that we get from it, because that is how we've been able to improve our game so much every year.
First, we're going to release on Steam, hopefully next summer 2026. Almost forgot what year it was. And it's going to be available for PC and Linux, hopefully Mac as well. We're going to be working on a Mac port for it.
Woo! You hear that? They're excited.
Yeah, everyone's excited.
Let's go!
And then we're hoping to do consoles after that. It is available for wishlist on Steam right now, so you can look up Hero Mania on Steam, and it should pop up.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all things Oops All Games and News Channel 20.